Imagine for a moment that your mind is a garden. Every thought you allow into this garden is like a seed. If you plant seeds of positivity, growth, and resilience, those are the plants that will thrive. But if you fill your mind with weeds, negative thoughts, self-doubt, limitations, those too will grow and take up valuable space. Today, let's talk about cultivating a garden of thoughts that can change not just our minds, but our lives. Each thought you hold is a choice. It's a chance to see yourself as capable, worthy, and empowered. When we begin to see our thoughts not as passive reflections, but as active choices, we realize the incredible power we have over our lives. It's like moving from the back seat to the driver's seat. Imagine starting your day not with, I have to, but I get to. Suddenly, even the smallest tasks carry a sense of purpose and joy. The way we see the world has a powerful influence on our experiences and ultimately on the direction our lives take. When we talk about the power of perspective, we're referring to the way our thoughts shape reality. Each of us interprets life through our own unique lens, influenced by past experiences, beliefs, and attitudes. But the critical point here is that this lens isn't fixed. We have the ability to adjust it, to refocus our perspective. And this shift can unlock new possibilities and a deeper sense of fulfillment. Imagine two people facing the same challenge, like losing a job. One person might feel defeated, seeing it as a confirmation of personal failure, a judgment on their worth or abilities. They might fall into despair, believing that they are destined to struggle, and this belief can prevent them from moving forward or recognizing new opportunities. Another person, in contrast, might see this setback as a chance to explore new paths, improve skills, or even start something they've always dreamed of. Rather than viewing the loss as a barrier, they see it as a stepping stone. This shift in perspective doesn't change the event itself, but it changes the experience of it. And this change in experience can completely transform the outcomes that follow. The first person may stay stuck, struggling to regain a sense of purpose, while the second person is likely to move forward with renewed motivation. The ability to see situations through a lens of possibility and growth is transformative. By intentionally shifting our perspective, we train ourselves to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities. This shift isn't about ignoring difficulties or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on what we can learn and gain from each experience, even the painful ones. It's about embracing the idea that every experience has something to teach us and that growth is often hidden within struggle. When we adopt this mindset, we build resilience. We start to see ourselves as capable of overcoming hardship, and this sense of empowerment fuels our ability to navigate life's ups and downs with strength. Our perspective also shapes the way we see others. When we approach others with empathy, understanding that everyone is fighting their own battles, we create deeper connections and foster a more positive outlook. Imagine you're in a stressful situation, like dealing with a rude person at work. Without a mindful perspective, it's easy to become frustrated or defensive. But with an open, compassionate perspective, you might see that person's behavior as a reflection of their own struggles, not a personal attack. This awareness allows you to respond with patience, maintaining your peace instead of being pulled into negativity. By choosing this perspective, you not only protect your own mental well-being, but also create an environment where positive interactions can flourish. Our perspective shapes our self-image as well. How we view ourselves, our strengths, our potential, our worthiness determines what we believe we're capable of achieving. If we constantly tell ourselves that we're not good enough, that we lack the skills or talents needed to succeed, those thoughts will limit our actions. But when we consciously choose to see ourselves as capable and worthy, even if we're not perfect, we give ourselves permission to pursue our dreams and take bold steps. Changing our self-perception requires letting go of the doubts and insecurities that have built up over time. It's about believing in a more empowered version of ourselves, one that isn't defined by past failures or the opinions of others. Reframing our perspective is a daily practice, one that requires awareness and intention. It's not about eliminating all negative thoughts, but about recognizing that we have the power to choose which thoughts we give attention to. When we start to view the world through a lens of possibility, focusing on the lessons rather than the losses, we open ourselves to new paths, deeper connections, and a life aligned with our values. Adjusting our perspective allows us to live more fully, with greater joy and resilience. Our thoughts are the foundation of every action we take. They create an internal narrative that shapes the way we respond to the world, interact with others, and move toward our goals. When we say thoughts shape actions, we're talking about how the beliefs we hold, the assumptions we make, and the self-talk we engage in ultimately influence our behavior, habits, and the way we experience life. The power of our thoughts to direct our actions is both liberating and challenging. On one hand, it means we have immense power to direct our lives by cultivating the right thoughts. On the other, it requires us to become deeply aware of the quality of our inner dialogue, as this shapes our outer reality. Imagine someone who wakes up each morning with the thought, "Today is going to be difficult," even if nothing objectively challenging awaits them. The mere anticipation of hardship colors their entire day. They may approach each task with reluctance, bracing themselves for things to go wrong. With this outlook, even minor setbacks are likely to feel magnified, fueling frustration or discouragement. This thought primes them for negativity, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy that leads to actions aligned with defeat and passivity. Their words and body language may reflect hesitation or defensiveness, impacting their relationships and limiting their potential. Now, let's consider someone who wakes up with the thought, "Today is an opportunity." This perspective creates an entirely different framework for action. They may approach their day with a sense of curiosity and openness, prepared to embrace whatever comes their way. If they encounter obstacles, they are more likely to see them as temporary setbacks rather than insurmountable problems. Their energy is directed towards solving challenges rather than feeling defeated by them. This subtle shift in thought fundamentally changes their actions, encouraging behaviors that are proactive, resilient, and constructive. Rather than shrinking from difficulty, they step up, engaging fully with the opportunities and challenges that come their way. One of the most powerful ways that thoughts shape actions is through self-belief. If we believe in our capacity to grow, learn, and overcome obstacles, we are more likely to take steps that align with this belief. For instance, someone who thinks, "I am capable of achieving my goals," is more likely to take actions that lead to success. They might be willing to put in extra effort, take on new challenges, or step out of their comfort zone because they believe in the possibility of a positive outcome. This self-belief fuels a cycle of action and reinforcement. When they achieve small victories, their confidence grows, encouraging even more positive action. Over time, these actions accumulate, leading to significant personal and professional growth. Conversely, negative thoughts can create a cycle of inaction. If someone continually tells themselves, "I'm not good enough," this thought becomes a barrier. Instead of reaching for their potential, they might avoid challenges altogether, fearing failure or rejection. They may pass up opportunities, choosing comfort over growth, which reinforces the belief that they are not capable. This self-doubt can result in a life lived below their true potential, not because they lack ability, but because their thoughts have convinced them they do. It's not the external world that limits them, but the internal dialogue that holds them back. Changing our thoughts can transform our actions. It starts with becoming aware of our habitual thoughts and asking ourselves if they serve our highest purpose. We can practice reframing negative or limiting thoughts into ones that empower and uplift. Instead of, "I can't," we can try, "I'll give it my best effort," rather than, "This is too hard." We can choose, "I'm learning something new." By consciously choosing thoughts that align with the actions we want to take, we set ourselves up for success and growth. We stop seeing challenges as threats and start viewing them as stepping stones. Positive thoughts also inspire constructive habits. When we think, "I want to be healthy and energetic," it naturally leads us to choose actions that support this desire, like eating nutritious foods, exercising, and getting enough rest. Similarly, if we think, "I want to be more compassionate and connected to others," this thought encourages us to reach out, listen, and express empathy. Over time, these small, consistent actions become habits that shape the quality of our lives and relationships. In every moment, we have a choice to nurture thoughts that lead us closer to our goals or to fall into patterns of thinking that hold us back. By actively choosing empowering thoughts, we give ourselves the best possible chance to align our actions with our deepest values and aspirations. Through this alignment, we can lead lives filled with purpose, joy, and fulfillment. It's a reminder that the path to transformation begins in our minds. When we change our thoughts, we change our actions, and ultimately, we change our lives. Reframing negativity is a powerful mental tool that allows us to take control over our mindset, regardless of the challenges we face. Life is full of ups and downs, and negative experiences are unavoidable, but how we respond to them makes all the difference. When we talk about reframing negativity, we're talking about the ability to look at situations from a different, more constructive perspective. Rather than dwelling on setbacks, reframing teaches us to see adversity as an opportunity for growth, learning, and resilience. This mindset shift is not about ignoring difficulties or pretending that challenges don't exist. Instead, it's about consciously choosing to see a broader picture and recognizing that even in the darkest moments, there are often valuable lessons to be learned. Consider a person who faces a significant failure, like not getting a promotion at work. The immediate reaction might be disappointment, frustration, or even self-doubt. It's natural to feel these emotions, but if they linger, they can become paralyzing. Dwelling on the disappointment might lead to feelings of inadequacy, resentment toward colleagues, or a negative attitude that impacts performance. However, with the practice of reframing, this person could choose to see the experience differently. Instead of viewing the missed promotion as a final verdict on their abilities, they might see it as a chance to ask, what can I improve? How can I prepare myself for the next opportunity? This shift in thinking doesn't erase the disappointment but turns it into fuel for self-improvement rather than a reason to give up. Reframing negativity is an intentional practice that requires awareness and patience. The first step is to recognize when negative thoughts arise and then pause before reacting. Often, our initial reactions are emotional, and it's easy to fall into patterns of self-pity or anger. But by pausing, we give ourselves a moment to ask, is there another way to see this situation? This question opens up space for a new perspective. For instance, instead of thinking, this is the worst thing that could have happened, we might ask, what is this experience trying to teach me? In that pause, we allow room for a more constructive response to emerge. One of the most powerful aspects of reframing is that it helps us develop resilience. Life will always have setbacks, but if we learn to see those setbacks as temporary and even useful, we become stronger. Resilience isn't about avoiding hardship, it's about facing challenges head-on with a mindset that says, I can handle this and I can learn from this. When we practice reframing, we train ourselves to bounce back more quickly without getting stuck in negative emotions. Each time we successfully reframe a difficult situation, we build confidence in our ability to handle whatever comes our way. Reframing also has a profound effect on our relationships. When we face conflicts with others, it's easy to focus on their flaws or the ways they may have wronged us. However, this often leads to resentment and prolonged tension. By reframing, we can choose to approach the situation with empathy, asking ourselves questions like, is this person struggling with something I don't know about? Could their behavior be a reflection of their own pain or stress? This perspective doesn't mean we condone hurtful actions, but it allows us to respond with understanding rather than anger. When we give others the benefit of the doubt, we create space for healthier, more constructive interactions. Learning to reframe negativity also encourages self-compassion. We are often our own harshest critics, and when we make mistakes, it's easy to fall into a cycle of self-blame. Reframing teaches us to treat ourselves with the same kindness we might offer a friend. Instead of thinking I always mess things up, we might say, I made a mistake, but I can learn from it. And try again. This simple shift fosters a sense of self-worth and reduces the fear of failure. By seeing our missteps as part of the learning process, we're more likely to take risks and pursue our goals without being held back by fear. Reframing also invites us to cultivate gratitude. Even in the midst of a challenging situation, there are often small things to be thankful for. For example, if we're dealing with a difficult job, we might choose to focus on the skills we're gaining, the connections we're building, or the strength we're developing through perseverance. Practicing gratitude helps us find meaning in our struggles, which in turn makes it easier to keep a positive outlook. Over time, this habit shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, and we start to see that even our hardest days bring something valuable. Ultimately, reframing negativity is about empowerment. It's about reclaiming our power to define our own experience. While we may not have control over every circumstance, we do have control over how we interpret and respond to those circumstances. By choosing to see setbacks as opportunities, conflicts as chances for growth, and challenges as invitations to build resilience, we create a life that is not defined by what happens to us, but by how we choose to respond. This shift in perspective transforms negativity into a stepping stone on the path toward a more fulfilling, resilient, and empowered life. Self-awareness is the cornerstone of personal growth and transformation. It's the ability to look inward and understand our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors without judgment. When we talk about embracing self-awareness, we're talking about a commitment to understanding who we truly are beneath the surface. Without self-awareness, our decisions, reactions, and relationships are often guided by unexamined patterns, assumptions, or reactions. But with self-awareness, we gain insight into what drives us and what holds us back, giving us the clarity and power to make meaningful change in our lives. The journey of self-awareness begins with a willingness to be honest with ourselves. Many of us live on autopilot, rarely questioning why we think or act in certain ways. However, without examining our thought patterns, we can become trapped in cycles of negativity or limitation without even realizing it. For example, if someone has a recurring thought like "I'm not good enough," this belief may lead them to avoid challenges or opportunities. They might not realize that this thought isn't an absolute truth, but rather a pattern they've internalized over time. Through self-awareness, they can begin to recognize this pattern and understand its origins, perhaps a critical comment in childhood or a failure that left a lasting impact. This awareness is the first step toward challenging and reframing that limiting belief, allowing them to start seeing themselves in a more compassionate and realistic light. Embracing self-awareness also means becoming mindful of our emotions. Emotions are powerful signals that provide valuable insights into our inner world. When we take the time to explore our feelings, whether they're positive or negative, we can better understand what truly matters to us. For instance, if someone feels frustrated in their job, rather than brushing it aside or venting endlessly, self-awareness encourages them to ask, "Why do I feel this way? What is it about this situation that's making me unhappy?" They might realize that their frustration stems from a lack of growth or recognition, or that their values aren't aligned with the work they're doing. This understanding empowers them to make changes, whether that means discussing their concerns with a supervisor, seeking new challenges, or considering a different career path that better aligns with their passions. Self-awareness also helps us manage our relationships with others. Often, our interactions are influenced by unconscious biases or unresolved feelings. For instance, if we carry unresolved anger or resentment from past experiences, these emotions may surface in unrelated situations, causing us to react defensively or withdraw from others. With self-awareness, we can catch ourselves in these moments, pausing to consider why we feel the way we do and whether our response is truly reflective of the current situation. By recognizing our own triggers and emotional responses, we can choose to respond more calmly and constructively, fostering healthier and more meaningful relationships. Self-awareness helps us see others more clearly as well, reducing the tendency to project our own fears or insecurities onto them. Developing self-awareness requires patience and practice. It's a continuous process of tuning into ourselves, often through reflection, journaling, or meditation. When we take time to reflect on our actions and decisions, we gain insight into the motivations that guide us. For instance, if someone notices they're constantly busy but feel unfulfilled, they might start to question why they take on so many responsibilities. Through self-reflection, they may realize they're trying to prove their worth through productivity rather than engaging in activities that genuinely bring them joy. This understanding can inspire them to set healthier boundaries, prioritize what truly matters, and let go of the need for constant validation from others. Self-awareness is also about accepting the parts of ourselves we may not like. We all have flaws, fears, and insecurities, and it's easy to avoid or deny them. However, true self-awareness means facing these parts of ourselves with compassion. When we can acknowledge our imperfections without judgment, we start to see that they don't define us, they're simply aspects of our experience as human beings. This acceptance doesn't mean we stop striving to improve. Rather, it means we approach growth from a place of self-love and understanding rather than self-criticism or shame. Embracing self-awareness allows us to break free from the limitations of our conditioned thoughts and behaviors. Instead of being defined by past experiences or external expectations, we become empowered to make choices that reflect our true values and aspirations. We can step back from societal pressures, tuning into what genuinely brings us fulfillment and purpose. Self-awareness is like a compass that guides us back to our authentic selves, helping us to live in alignment with who we really are, rather than who we think we're supposed to be. Ultimately, self-awareness leads to a greater sense of inner peace and fulfillment. By understanding our own thoughts, feelings, and motivations, we gain clarity on what truly matters in our lives. We become less reactive, more resilient, and more attuned to the present moment. Instead of feeling like life is something that happens to us, we feel like active participants in our own journey. With self-awareness, we can face challenges with greater confidence, knowing that we have the power to respond intentionally and adaptively. Self-awareness is an ongoing journey, but it's one of the most rewarding paths we can take. It brings us closer to ourselves, allows us to build deeper connections with others, and helps us live a life that is true to our deepest values and desires. Through self-awareness, we unlock our potential for growth, resilience, and genuine happiness. It's a powerful tool that empowers us to create a life filled with purpose, peace, and fulfillment. The influence of gratitude on our mindset and well-being is profound. Gratitude is more than simply saying thank you or feeling happy when something good happens. It's an intentional shift in perspective, a way of recognizing and appreciating the positive aspects of our lives, even amidst challenges. Embracing gratitude means cultivating an outlook that looks for the good in every day, no matter how small, and finding value in what we often take for granted. When we approach life with a grateful mindset, it not only improves our mood but also enhances our resilience, strengthens our relationships, and deepens our overall sense of fulfillment. In the hustle of daily life, it's easy to overlook the small blessings around us, the warmth of the morning sun, a good meal, or a conversation with a loved one. We tend to focus on what we lack or what's going wrong, which can lead to a sense of dissatisfaction and even stress. Practicing gratitude interrupts this cycle by redirecting our attention to what we already have and to the positive experiences we encounter each day. This shift isn't about ignoring difficulties or pretending that life is always perfect. Instead, it's about training our minds to recognize that, even during hard times, there are still aspects of our lives that bring comfort, joy, and purpose. Research consistently shows that gratitude has a lasting impact on mental health and well-being. Studies reveal that people who regularly practice gratitude are more likely to experience greater happiness, lower levels of depression and anxiety, and increased optimism. This is because gratitude affects the brain in a way that promotes a sense of calm and contentment. When we focus on the positive, our brains release dopamine and serotonin, which are neurotransmitters associated with feelings of pleasure and well-being. Over time, practicing gratitude can create neural pathways that make it easier to default to positive thoughts, even when faced with challenges. Gratitude also enhances our relationships with others. When we express gratitude, we acknowledge and appreciate the kindness and efforts of those around us. Whether it's a friend who listens when we need support, a co-worker who helps us meet a deadline, or a family member who offers encouragement, gratitude encourages us to focus on the positive contributions people make to our lives. Expressing appreciation not only strengthens bonds but also promotes a sense of closeness and trust. When we make an effort to thank others, we create an environment of mutual respect and understanding which deepens our connections and fosters a supportive network. Moreover, gratitude builds resilience. Life is filled with obstacles, setbacks, and unexpected turns, and it's natural to feel discouraged when things don't go as planned. However, a grateful mindset can help us find strength in difficult situations by focusing on what we can learn and gain from each experience. For example, someone who loses their job might initially feel anxious or defeated, but with a grateful outlook, they might recognize the opportunity to explore new paths, gain new skills, or rethink their career goals. Gratitude doesn't erase the pain of a setback, but it helps us to look beyond it and see that even in moments of loss, there are valuable insights and new directions waiting to be discovered. Gratitude also encourages us to be present. When we practice gratitude, we become more aware of our surroundings and the simple pleasures that we might otherwise overlook. It shifts our focus from worrying about the future or dwelling on the past to appreciating the present moment. This mindfulness can lead to a deeper sense of peace and contentment. For instance, instead of rushing through our day without pausing to notice the beauty around us, a gratitude practice encourages us to stop and appreciate the small moments, a walk in nature, a shared laugh, or a moment of quiet reflection. This shift in focus brings us back to the here and now, grounding us in a sense of appreciation for life as it is. Building a practice of gratitude doesn't require grand gestures. It can be as simple as keeping a daily gratitude journal, where each day we write down a few things we're thankful for. Over time, this practice can shift our perspective, making it easier to notice and appreciate the positives in our lives. Even on difficult days when finding something to be grateful for feels challenging, this habit encourages us to search for the silver linings, a supportive friend, the strength to get through the day, or a lesson learned through struggle. This habit gradually changes the way we see the world, helping us to approach life with a sense of abundance rather than scarcity. Finally, gratitude leads to a sense of fulfillment. When we constantly chase after more success, more possessions, more approval, we can feel like we're never enough. But gratitude teaches us to value what we already have, which creates a sense of contentment and satisfaction. It reminds us that true happiness doesn't come from accumulating more, but from appreciating the richness of what we already possess. This shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset can fundamentally change the way we experience life, allowing us to feel fulfilled and at peace with ourselves. In essence, gratitude is a powerful tool that helps us cultivate a positive, resilient, and fulfilled life. It's a reminder to cherish the small moments, to value the people around us, and to recognize that, no matter our circumstances, there is always something to be thankful for. By embracing gratitude, we empower ourselves to live with greater joy, compassion, and purpose. It transforms the way we see ourselves in the world, opening our hearts to the abundance that surrounds us. Through gratitude, we can find beauty in the ordinary and strength in adversity, ultimately creating a life that feels rich and meaningful. Visualizing success is a practice that involves imagining yourself achieving your goals with such clarity and detail that it begins to feel real. It's a powerful mental tool that helps align your mind, emotions, and behaviors toward achieving what you desire. When we visualize success, we're not just daydreaming, we're mentally rehearsing each step we need to take, building confidence and creating a sense of purpose. This process enables us to believe in the possibility of our goals, which ultimately increases our motivation and directs our actions. Visualization can be transformative because it primes our minds for success, helping us overcome self-doubt and take concrete steps toward making our dreams a reality. One reason visualization is so effective is that the brain doesn't distinguish much between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. When you imagine yourself succeeding, your brain starts to respond as if that success is happening in the present. Neural pathways in the brain are activated, just as they would be if you were physically engaged in the activity. For example, athletes use visualization to mentally practice their routines or competitions, and research has shown that this mental rehearsal strengthens the same muscles as physical training does. Similarly, when we imagine ourselves speaking confidently in front of a crowd, the neural patterns associated with calmness and confidence in that scenario are reinforced. This mental preparation can help us feel more comfortable, prepared, and focused when we face the real situation, making success more likely. Visualizing success also increases motivation. When we see ourselves achieving our goals, it creates a sense of excitement and purpose, making the journey toward those goals more compelling. Imagine someone who aspires to start their own business. By visualizing the day they launch, the people they will serve, and the sense of accomplishment they'll feel, they're fueling their desire to put in the work needed to make it happen. Visualization helps us connect emotionally to our goals, which strengthens our commitment to the process even when challenges arise. This emotional connection is essential because motivation can wane, especially when the path becomes difficult. By frequently revisiting a vision of success, we can reignite that initial excitement and remind ourselves why our goals are worth pursuing. Visualization can also help us overcome obstacles by preparing us to face difficulties before they arise. When we only think about our goals from a positive perspective, challenges can catch us off guard, leading to frustration and doubt. But by visualizing the entire process, including potential setbacks, we can mentally prepare ourselves to respond calmly and effectively. For example, if you have a big presentation coming up, you might imagine the possibility of technical issues or tough questions from the audience. By visualizing how you would handle these challenges, you're less likely to be thrown off in the moment. This practice allows you to build resilience, knowing that you have mentally rehearsed solutions for a variety of situations. Another significant benefit of visualizing success is that it builds confidence. Self-doubt is often a major barrier to achieving our goals. When we repeatedly picture ourselves succeeding, we're reinforcing the belief that we're capable and deserving of that success. Confidence grows as we see ourselves overcoming challenges, achieving milestones, and thriving. For someone who struggles with self-doubt, visualization is a way to practice confidence, building the mental foundation needed to take bold actions in real life. When we believe we can succeed, we're more likely to take risks, seize opportunities, and persevere in the face of setbacks. Visualization allows us to try on confidence, making it easier to access in moments when we need it most. Visualization also helps us clarify our goals and break them down into manageable steps. When we think about our goals in abstract terms, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the big picture, leading to procrastination or avoidance. However, by visualizing each step of the journey, we can identify the specific actions we need to take to move forward. For instance, if your goal is to write a book, you might visualize yourself sitting down each day to write a chapter, researching topics, and revising your drafts. This detailed visualization breaks down the larger goal into smaller, achievable steps, which makes it feel less intimidating and more doable. As we take these smaller steps, our confidence grows and we move closer to our ultimate vision of success. It's important to note that visualization alone isn't enough to achieve our goals. It's a tool that complements consistent action. Visualization prepares the mind, but it's our actions that turn our vision into reality. When we combine visualization with practical effort, we create a powerful synergy that propels us towards success. For example, someone who visualizes a healthy lifestyle might also take specific actions like planning nutritious meals, exercising regularly, and getting enough rest. Visualization creates the mental blueprint, and action brings that blueprint to life. Ultimately, visualizing success helps us stay aligned with our goals. Even when distractions and setbacks occur, it creates a sense of purpose and focus, reminding us of what we're working toward and why it matters. When we can see ourselves achieving our dreams, we're more likely to stay committed, even when the journey feels long or challenging. Visualization is a reminder of our potential and a source of encouragement, giving us the confidence and resilience needed to keep going. In summary, visualizing success is a practice that empowers us to believe in our capabilities, focus on our goals, and take the necessary steps to achieve them. By vividly imagining our dreams as if they're already within reach, we build confidence, increase motivation, and prepare ourselves for the challenges we may face along the way. It's a powerful tool that transforms our mindset and guides us toward making our aspirations a reality. In conclusion, the journey to change your thoughts and change your life is one of intention, patience, and consistent effort. By reshaping our mindset through embracing self-awareness, reframing negativity, practicing gratitude, visualizing success, and believing in our potential, we unlock a path to profound personal transformation. This shift is not about denying the difficulties life presents, but about equipping ourselves to navigate them with resilience and optimism. Each practice reinforces our ability to approach life with greater confidence and purpose, creating a mindset that supports our growth rather than holds us back. When we commit to changing our thoughts, we empower ourselves to create a life that reflects our truest values and aspirations. Our thoughts shape our perceptions, and by intentionally guiding them, we can cultivate the life we desire, rich with meaning, joy, and fulfillment. Changing our thoughts truly does change our life, giving us the tools to reach our potential and lead a life of purpose and peace. No excuses. If you want to change your life, it starts with taking full responsibility for your mindset and actions. Excuses may feel comforting in the short term, but they hold us back from reaching our potential. Real growth happens when we stop rationalizing our limitations and start taking ownership of our choices. When we let go of excuses, we're forced to confront ourselves honestly to see where we're holding back and where we can improve. This isn't always easy, but it's empowering. Excuses are often rooted in fear, the fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown. By stepping beyond them, we're telling ourselves that our goals and dreams are worth more than our fears. Life will always have challenges, setbacks, and tough moments, but we have the power to choose our response. We can choose growth over comfort, progress over stagnation. No excuses mean committing to your goals fully, regardless of circumstances, and trusting in your own ability to overcome obstacles. Ultimately, living a life without excuses isn't about being perfect, it's about being accountable to yourself, being willing to adapt, and always moving forward. Make the decision now, no excuses, just action, growth, and determination. This commitment to yourself is what will transform your life.